Sleep Token has taken the world by storm, from selling out arenas in just a few hours to having a #1 album in multiple countries. It's safe to say the world cannot get enough of them. And with their recent release, even in Arcadia, it has more than solidified the Sleep Token madness. Oh man, I have not reviewed an album in a very long time, and man, am I so excited for this to be my first review back. What's up, YouTube? And man, 2025 has been such a great year for music, honestly. We just had Amine drop his project, of course, some Spirit Box, some Architects, Sinners with its phenomenal score by the ever iconic Ludwig Göransson. If you've not seen that film or not heard the score, do yourself a favor and both see and hear anything that comes out of Sinners. That is a phenomenal picture. That it's one for the ages. And then, of course, on top of that, we have Sleep Token. Now, how I found out about Sleep Token was way back when they had released Take Me Back to Eden, which is crazy that it's came up on its 2-year anniversary. A phenomenal album, and I've just been a fan ever since. I love so much about this band. I love the lore, even though I'm not well versed on all of it. I love the look, I love the sound, and I just love what they're bringing to the space of metal that so many people are connecting to. And I think what makes people connect so much to Sleep Token is just a lot of the messages on display here. And we're going to talk about a lot about themes and messaging throughout this review because, man, even in Arcadia touches upon some very deep, personal, introspective topics and ask a lot of questions about mortality, about fame, and just about being a human and picking yourself back up from such traumatic and awful events. And oh my gosh, I could just talk about this album for hours. Although I'm not gonna keep y'all here for an hour, maybe one day, but I'm gonna keep y'all here for a little bit because I really want to sit in this album. But I really love to let projects such as these just sit with me. If I release a review too soon, just know that while it might have been good or whatever I say in the review, um, there's some things that just take a while to process, and this album truly was a lot to process for me. I've listened to this album front and back at least 5 times. I've shown it to one of my best homies who's in love with it. I want to show it to another one of my homies and get his opinion on it, but I just want to share this album with as many people as I can. I am absolutely obsessed. I want to first talk about the cover art. I think the cover art is so beautiful, so fantastic, so simple and straight to the point. I love it. So it's just a bunch of pink flowers, and of course in the middle that iconic flamingo that we've been seeing whenever they tease the single tracks. And I just love how simple it is, but how powerful of a messaging it is. It's just this creature standing in front of a wide open greenery and just not knowing what's in the garden or what's behind the gate. And it's really a metaphor for this album. There's so many twists and turns of this album that I did not expect. It was just such a joy. It was a joyride of an album. It was a roller coaster of emotions. Everything you've heard in everyone else's reviews are so true. Like, there's just so much in this album to decompress and take apart, and I love that album just for that. I have a video essay coming out in July. Don't want to spoil what it is, but I will be diving deep into an album that's really personal to me, and I love that even in Arcadia reminds me of that album in a lot of ways, because this album touches upon a lot of very personal topics, and it suits the album for the better. The production for this album is fantastic. I love how it sounds. I love how tight the band is. I love all the genre changes. That's what Sleep Token is known for, just like mixing like R&B and rap and metal and just like putting everything into this giant mixing pot, this giant goulash, and making a lot of great tracks. The track that comes to mind is the beginning track, which, oh my gosh, if you've seen reviews from me in the past, y'all know I love a great opening and a great closing. And man, the opening for this album is chef's kiss. The first single they released, I remember, was Emergence, and I wasn't feeling it at the time. I love it now, but at the time I was like, oh, okay, I honestly feel like they should have released the opening track as the single. If I was to show someone what Sleep Token is, I would show them Look Into Windward. Like, that is just a perfect track combining what the band is. It's very emotional, it's very angelic, it's very chaotic, but at the same time it's very beautiful and very personal. I love how that track sounds. I love the transitioning that it goes into with Emergence that comes right after that. I love the drumming on this album. Two is a phenomenal drummer. Oh my god. Like, even Take Me Back to Eden, I was in love with the drums, and here I'm even more in love. Like, Two just constantly proves himself, and it shows his inspirations. I know he's talking about like how Joey Jordison, God rest to one of the greatest musicians of all time, Joey Jordison, and you could tell he takes a lot of inspirations from the band. The production was phenomenal, but also just how Vessel sounds. Vessel sounds so personal, so hurt, but also uplifting and angry. And I love that because Vessel perfectly represents what this band is and perfectly represents each song on this album. And I love that. That is what you should do as a singer. You should add to the songs. You should add to the overall messaging of the album. And Vessel does that in strides. Oh my God. Damocles, which was another single. That song is so emotionally heart-wrenching, and Vessel only adds to that. That song just talks about, am I worth it? Am I worth getting back up? Can I pick myself up after I've fallen? Am I even going to be the same person I was after all the stuff, the nonsense and the BS that I've been through? And is it even worth it? My God. And Vessel just sings all of that out. You could feel his emotions, you could feel his rage about this questioning and what he's gone through. On Caramel, another one, he's just telling us how he feels and what it's been like to be famous, and how that's just really, it's a beautiful nightmare, like he says. And I love that. I love that phrasing, and I love the lyrics. This album is written really tightly. There's so many great lyrics and so many great bars on this. Past Self, it was like, I don't wanna be lost again. It was like at the end. I'm not a great singer, as you can tell, but it was at the end. And man, you know, again, just to go back to how Vessel emotes and how emotional he is on a lot of these tracks. Even in Arcadia, the title track, there's this part, and I really want you guys to listen to this song. That song is beautiful. Going back to me talking about the production, that song in particular, oh my God. I feel like when I'm listening to that song, I feel like I'm in a movie. Like I'm in a war, I'm in a fight, I'm battle ready. I got my sword with me. I'm ready for battle. That's what that track makes me feel. And there's a part where Vessel is just screaming into the void, screaming into the mic, letting loose all these wild emotions, and it gives me goosebumps. Even now, just thinking about it, I have goosebumps. That is my favorite. That's one of my favorite moments on the album, is just his raw rage and screaming. Vessel has one of the best voices in metal right now, and I think that's another reason why Sleep Token is so popular, is because Vessel is just such a phenomenal singer. There's not a lot of people emoting like him. Even the way he says certain words on this album and all the other songs that Sleep Token has produced, there's a certain way he says certain words that give it a certain emotion. This album, to me, is the biggest example of, it's not what you say, it's how you say it, right? There's so many times where I'm like, Vessel could have said it like this, but he says it like this, the way he wants to say it, and the emotion just comes off so well, and it's so beautiful, and it only adds to the overall beautiful messaging of this album. I was talking about the deep, personal, introspective questions that it asks, and this album is just basically touching upon fame and what it's been like to get, like I was mentioning in the beginning, all of this fame, all this tension, all this notoriety, and it being a beautiful nightmare. Is it even worth it to perform in front of these audiences when they don't really know me? There's a lyric he says, I'm too young to be I'm too young to be bitter, that I know. I'm too old to be retaliating like I have before. And that, I'm paraphrasing, but that bar really stuck with me. Yeah, that's in Caramel. Yeah, that's in Caramel. I was like, what's that on Caramel? That really sticks with me. You know, I've been going through a lot in my life, and obviously not to get too personal, I'm talking about the band and praising this album because it is a masterpiece in my honest opinion. And like I said, it does solidify why everyone loves Sleep Token. If you want to understand why people love Sleep Token and why everyone's going insane, listen to this album because there is something for everyone on here. And that's what another thing I love about and appreciate about Sleep Token is that there is something for everyone. Where you like rap, metal, jazz, all that, and you just want it in one giant mixing pot and goulash and see what comes out of it. Sleep Token is for you. And if you want it done with thought, care, passion, and authenticity, you're at the right place. To go back to what I was saying about that lyric, that made me realize just about my age. And you know, I'm very resentful about a lot of the things that's happening to me or has happened. And it's like, you know, I can be, my feelings are valid, but I'm also older and I can't be retaliating or acting the same way I was when I was younger. I'm older, too old to retaliate like before. That song just hits me on another level. Dangerous. Yo. Yo. Dangerous. If we've all met some dangerous people in our lives, and I ain't talking about robbers and killers. I'm talking about that love. Like, that track is another banger. Like, I love that this album talks about love, the consequences of love, the chaos that comes from it, the fallout if the love doesn't work out or it's not coming clear. You know, like, oh, there's just so much this album touches upon that really spoke to me. That's what makes art great, right? What makes art great is the connection and the relatability you feel from said project. Whether it's an album, a TV show, a piece of art, a graphic novel, or whatever, like, if it's made with authenticity, care, and passion, man, you feel that and it sticks with you and it makes you feel a wide range of emotions. I felt so much listening to this album because there's so much that the band touches upon that I was like, yo, I'm going through that right now currently, or I've been through that, and oh my god, I feel exactly what Vessel is talking about. I feel these lyrics like deep inside of my soul. Or if I haven't gone through that, Vessel makes you understand what he's going through, and he takes his time not only vocally but with the lyrics and how the band amplifies that said message in the song. Sleep Token is going to make sure you know the message they're trying to get across, and they do it beautifully time and time again. Multiple times on this album I cried. I almost cried. Because of just how deep it struck home. This album is a pure example of what art is made for: connection, passion, authenticity, and to tell your story. The story of Even in Arcadia is wonderful. Just, you know, like I was saying on Damocles, him questioning, am I even worth it? Can I measure up to the challenges and adventures that come my way through being on this journey or just living life in general? All artists can take a lesson from Sleep Token, honestly. Just be passionate, be intentional, be authentic. And that's what this album is. It's just authenticity in its rawest form. And I cannot recommend this album enough. Like I said, I could talk about this album for hours. I'm a little bit tired and also don't want to keep you guys for too long, but man, I cannot recommend Even in Arcadia enough. I honestly don't have any critiques. To go back, I was saying in the beginning, I love a good opening and closing. The heavy metal breakdown in Infinite Baths, don't even talk about it. That was some of the coolest, hypest moments of 2025. Like, that was so good. This band knows how to make music, and I am so excited for whatever the band has next. I'm so frustrated that the band is so popular because everything just sells out real quick. I love the Sleep Token fan base, but the one thing I hate is how quick everything sells out, right? Like, I didn't even get a chance to see what the ticket prices were for, because they're coming to Atlanta. So I was so excited, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna wait. So that's where I messed up at. I said I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait until I get my money up. Let me see what's going on. What are I'm gonna see the ticket prices then. When I tell you that arena sold out in like an hour or two, please, the entire North American tour is sold out. Or even with merch, I can't. It's like the same day they put it there is the same day it's gone, and it's so annoying because I really love Sleep Token. I will love merch. I want to see them live one day. I will. But guys, that is my review for Evening in Arcadia. I'm gonna give it a nice 10 out of 10 on Masterpiece. One of my favorite releases of 2025 so far, and I cannot recommend this album enough. Some of my favorite tracks: Even in Arcadia, Dangerous, Look to Windward, Infinite Baths, Damocles. Oh my god, I love Damocles, and Caramel. But honestly, I adore this entire album. But those are just my favorite tracks. That's like, what, I named like 6 songs. It's like majority of the album. I love this album so much, and I can't wait. They've been teasing that maybe there's like a deluxe or like a part 2 to the album that's gonna release this year. They teased on Instagram. The battle continues. So we'll see what the battle is, what that means. I'm hoping for more Sleep Token music because I need more of this in my life. Please give me more. But guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have heard Even in Arcadia, let me know what you think. I would love to have a discussion with you on the comment section down below. What's been your favorite music release of 2025 so far? Is there anything you want to see me review? Let me know all of that in the comment section, and I look forward to talking to you all. As always, my wonderful peeps, peace, love, safety. Until next time.